everybody, Weston here with the Hidden Gibbon, and today I've got a special treat for you. So, earlier I was looking through some random magic cards on Scryfall. Oftentimes I'll just type in like a series of letters like STA or things like that and just kind of look through all of them, trying to find some new cards to throw into some of my commander decks. And I came across a card that I had completely forgotten about from Future Sight, and that got me to thinking, what are some of the weirdest cards that I've either ever played with in Magic the Gathering or that I've ever heard of in Magic the Gathering? So that got me on a little bit of a quest. And so today I'm going to be bringing you 5 Magic the Gathering cards that are incredibly strange. Some of them you might have heard of, some of them maybe not. And without further ado, let's get straight into it. So at number 5, we have Naked Singularity. This is an artifact for 5 mana. It has a cumulative upkeep of 3, but it does some of the most bizarre things in all of Magic. It fundamentally changes how basic lands work, or non-basic because it doesn't say basic on it. It says, if tapped for mana, plains produce red, islands produce green, swamps produce white, mountains produce blue, and forests produce black, instead of any other type. So this kind of topsy-turvies and can just shut out a monocolored deck. Unless, of course, they have Chromatic Lantern. But I don't know why they're playing Chromatic Lantern in a monocolored deck. Now, I did play this card in EDH way back in the day. I had a copy of this, and it got me killed a lot. 1, cumulative upkeep of 3 is not insignificant. And 2, if you mess with people's mana, just like today, right? This would be like mass land denial. I would count it as that. People come after you. People come after you hard. They will stop everything else they're doing to come at you. But yeah, this is a very strange one from early days of Magic. Some of you older Magic players might know it. Some of you newer folks, you will never see a card like this ever again. I can bet money on that. In at number 4, we have a card where you're going to have to forgive me because it's got a War and Peace length text box in it from Ice Age called Chaos Moon. This is another one that I used to play in both casual constructed before EDH was a thing, and I believe I played it in one of my EDH decks. It is an enchantment for 3 colorless, 1 red, and it says during each player's upkeep, count the number of permanents. If that number is odd, all red creatures get +1/+1, and mountains produce an additional red when tapped for mana until end of turn. If the number is even, all red creatures get -1/-1, and mountains produce colorless mana instead of their normal mana until end of turn. Now I'm going to tell you, once again, I put this in my early casual decks. I know I played it in at least one of my commander decks. I think I played it in a mono red commander deck. I think it was Jaya Ballard was what I was playing. And again, players, my friends, this was before 4-man pods were like the norm. We'd have 6 and 8 player games, so this was a huge hassle, right? Having to count up all those permanents, and then you'd have people who would deliberately not play or play if I got ahead to screw me out of being able to have that red mana and just shut me down. And again, this often just got me killed. In at number 3 is a card that I had a copy of, but I never played it. And if I ever build a deck that's just designed to hate on everything, it's gonna go in there. I am talking about Quarum Trench Gnomes. It is a 1/1 for 3 colorless and 1 red, and it says tap. Target plains produces 1 colorless instead of white until the end of the game. It says you can use counters to mark them. Its Oracle text now just says target plains produces 1 colorless instead of white or any other color it would produce. This effect lasts until end of game. Yeah, very targeted hate card. Kind of around the lines of I think of things like Conversion, which turns all of your mountains into plains. But a very strange card from Legends with a really goofy art to it. It's almost like a cross between like a Dr. Seuss art and yeah, Yeah, just a pretty strange one overall. I could not imagine playing this in a deck unless I'm building a deck to be the biggest jerk ever and playing 5-color, blow up everybody's stuff, playing Naked Singularity, Conversion, Acid Rain. Is it Tsunami that destroys the forest? And then like this guy in there. In at number 2, this is the card that I came across that I know I had a bunch of copies of this back in the day. They all sent in my bulk because this is bizarre. But you know what? I'm actually going to try this card now. This card seems really interesting. And that card is Spellweaver Volute. Volute? It is an enchant aura for 3 colorless and 2 blue. And you might be wondering, Weston, that's fine. It's an aura. But this enchants an instant card in a graveyard. Not a creature, not an artifact, not anything else. It enchants an instant in a graveyard. Then it says, whenever you play a sorcery spell, copy the enchanted instant card. You may play the copy without paying its mana cost. If you do, remove the enchanted card from the game, or exile it, and attach Spellweaver Volute to another instant card in a graveyard. Now, see, this is very bizarre for a few things, right? Like, there are certain cards in Magic the Gathering that make it so you have to keep track of what order your graveyard is in, right? So, in today's day and age, I would play this and then I would write down a piece of paper that says what instant I am enchanting. But the more I thought about this card, the more kind of nutty I think it could be, right? You can cast some pretty big instant spells, right? From people's graveyards. People do weird things all the time, and I'm going to order a few copies of this, and I'm going to try it out in a few different decks, and we're going to see what kind of legwork this card can do. Of all of the cards today that I've talked about so far, this is the most playable one of them by far. And honestly, this one's so unique. It's so unique. We have never gotten anything like this before or since. So I would encourage y'all to try it out too. And then at number 1, and I have played this card before. I owned this card before. I will own it again someday, even though it's not legal in Commander. I am talking about Shahrazad. Shahrazad is a sorcery for 2 white mana. And it says, players must leave the game in progress as it is and use the cards left in their libraries as decks with which to play a sub-game of Magic. When the sub-game is over, notice you'll see on the text here, and why I'm pausing is because they cut out words to fit it on the text box here. When sub-game is over, players shuffle these cards, return them to their libraries, and resume the game in progress, with any loser of the subgame having his or her remaining life points rounded down. Effects that prevent damage may not be used to counter this loss of life. The subgame has no ante. That's a throwback to way back when. Using less than 40 cards may be necessary. In the original days of Magic, you didn't have to have a 60-card deck for Constructed, and obviously we play with Commander. But this card, I used to play in a red, white, blue Spellslinger deck, and I would play Jin Illuminatus, and then with Jin Illuminatus, I would play Shahrazad, and I specifically remember a game where it was, I believe, a 4-player pod. It was myself, my friend Dewey, my friend Mitch, and then I can't remember who the 4th was, but I copied this 6 times, and I distinctly remember Mitch just looking at me and was like, I'm just going to auto-scoop. And so he scooped all of the sub-games and went and played, I think, Call of Duty for a good, couple hours while Dewey, myself, and the other player just trudged through them. I love this card so much. If I manage to get a copy of it again someday, which please, Lord, let me get me a copy of this. I will beg, plead, and bribe to let somebody let me rule zero this into a game. I don't even care if I can't play it. It is not legal in any format at all. But I love this card so much. And this card's legendary amongst Magic players. I'm sure most of you have heard of it. But anyway, that's 5 incredibly strange cards that I came across, sparked by, just finding a random card that I had forgotten about. Let me know, what are some of the strangest cards you've ever seen? They don't have to be this out here. They might be just something that you have never seen before in Magic, and when you saw it for the first time, you're like, what the hell is that thing? Just let me know down in the comments below. Let me know what you thought of this, and of course, as always, I will see you all in the next video.